President Trump this morning claiming the ongoing trade talks between the U.S. and China have gone very well. That's his words, and they're all caps, as you can see. Economist Stephen Moore joins me now. OK, let's if we can't find a truce in this trade war by this November deadline, how will the economy react?
Well, Stuart, it's been so difficult to follow what's actually going on with these trade deals. We supposedly had a trade deal with China, 4 months ago or so. They're still negotiating. As I've said many times on your show, the problem with negotiating anything with the Chinese Communist government is you can't trust them as far as you can spit, that they'll sign something, but they won't stick to the deal. So I guess I'm a skeptic on where we are with a trade deal with China. Is it going to be in America's interest? Will China stick to it? I think and I'm not alone in my skepticism. A lot of business people I talk to, you really wonder whether China is trustworthy and whether they actually want a deal.
Well, if there's no deal, if the talks break up and the tariffs go up again, as they're supposed to, I think it's in mid-November, how bad is that for America?
Well, look, I don't like tariffs, as you know, and tariffs do raise costs and they do raise prices. So it would be bad for both sides of the aisle. But I would make this case, though. I think a bad deal with China is worse than no deal at all. And so Trump is right to try to get the best possible deal he can. China cheats, they steal, they have incredibly predatory trade practices against the United States. So it is imperative for both a national security and economic security rationale that we get a deal with Trump. And Trump is holding the cards. Look, China needs to trade with the United States. Their economy, if you put a large tariff on China, their economy would go into a Great Depression. They need access to our $20 trillion consumer market.
But can they hurt us?
We will see. I mean, Lord knows how much pain China is willing to take to stand up to Trump. But Trump does hold the cards on this. So I think at the end of the day, China will fold, and I think we will get a deal. But I don't know when that's coming. I don't think anyone does.
OK. The U.S. and Britain are prepared to sign, they are preparing, I should say, to sign a groundbreaking tech deal during President Trump's visit there this week. How will the tech deal signed in Britain, with Britain, how does that help us?
Well, listen, we're the world leader by far in technology. We've dominated for 30 years. We want to make sure that, going back to China, we want to make sure that we continue to have dominance in the area of technology, especially in AI, robotics, satellite technology, and so on. And one way of doing that and isolating the China economy is to have these deals with countries in Europe and countries like the UK. So I regard those talks as very bullish for the U.S. economy. But don't forget, by the way, that the Europeans and the UK have also been discriminating against American technology companies and their digital tax. And Trump has done a very good job of forcing the Europeans and the UK to stop these high taxes on American technology products.
America needs a friend in Europe, and Britain seems to be the friend at this moment who's most important.
Well, of course you would say that, Stuart.
Of course I would. Thanks, Steve.
No,
Thanks very much
look,
indeed.
we've always had a special relationship with the UK, and look, it's in both our countries' interest to have a very tight, close relationship. And I've always said, by the way, about the UK, the challenge for the UK is, will they move towards Europe, which is the socialist model, or will they move towards the U.S. free market model? It seems like it's an easy choice to me. That's why these elections coming up in the UK are so vitally important. And I'm a big Nigel Farage person. I think, he would be a Donald Trump type figure for the UK.
Yes, he would. OK, Stephen Moore, thanks very much indeed.